Are you struggling to fall asleep or to stay asleep? Is the lack of sleep affecting your relationships or your work? Well, stay tuned to learn some simple steps you can take to start sleeping better. For the best advice to reclaim your health and your energy, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification to be notified when I post videos every Thursday about reclaiming your health. If you're struggling to fall asleep or to stay asleep, that can be very frustrating. It can definitely impact negatively our relationships, our health for sure, and our work. So I'm Dr. Shelley Meyer. I'm a functional medicine physician, family physician, registered dietitian, and nutritionist. And on this channel, like I said, we talk about reclaiming your health, and that includes reclaiming your energy and your ability to sleep. And that is what we're focusing on today. If you're struggling to fall asleep or to stay asleep, then by the end of this video, you'll have 5 steps you can take to improve your sleep quality. At the end, we'll talk about those ways that if those nights that you wake up and you can't fall back asleep, I'll provide some bonus tips on stopping that pattern. Hundreds of people improve their sleep quality, and that's a common complaint that people come in for. So I've dealt with this a lot, and these 5 tips can really help, and I'm bringing them to you today. Let's dive into them. Number 1, get more sunlight exposure during the day. So get outside, take small walks throughout the day, start your morning with a walk or a run. Just getting that sunlight exposure really helps. If it's in the wintertime, you can have one of those artificial, well, not artificial, well, they are artificial, but sun lamps that help you like simulate the sun. And that can really help get the melatonin and the circadian rhythms right. And then on the opposite, at night, you want to reduce your light exposure. So you could either have blackout curtains or you could have a mask. I use a sleep mask. And then as soon as you wake up, you could remove the mask, open the curtains, and then you get the sunlight exposure in. Also, I know we've heard this before, but we want to reduce your exposure to the artificial lighting, the blue light, the lights that come from your laptop, your phone. So just either get a filter on those, or just better yet, leave them out. Do it the old-fashioned way, read some books at night, because you do want to reduce that exposure to the blue light. One other thing that's included in this step in reducing your blue light exposure that you could do to get your melatonin levels juicy and regulated is to get some of those yellow glasses. They look crazy, I know. You can get them on Amazon, but they're the yellow tint glasses, and they do help to improve your melatonin levels. Next step, number 3, would be you limit your naps during the day to 15 or 30 minutes. Or better yet, don't nap. Some people do get that rejuvenation from napping, and it does help improve their sleep quality, but some people, if they nap at all, then it does reduce their ability to sleep at night. So definitely, if you do nap, keeping it to 15 to 30 minutes at most. And then this is something I talked about on my last video, is to to keep your sleep time, your going to sleep time and your waking up time the same. That helps regulate our hormones, helps regulate our cortisol, and just kind of gives us our body the thought and the notion that it's time to go to bed and it's time to wake up. We get in that pattern, and it just really helps to regulate our sleep and to improve our sleep. Number 5 would be to reduce alcohol and to reduce caffeine. Both of these can impact our sleep in different ways. So alcohol disrupts our sleep cycle. May help you go to sleep, and some people do actually use it for that, but it disrupts our sleep cycle. So we do want to avoid alcohol for having trouble sleeping, or at least reduce it. Maybe just keep it to 1 or 2 on the weekends. And definitely, if you're noticing that you're waking up at like 1 or 2 a.m. or 2 or 3 a.m., that can be from alcohol. So try to minimize your alcohol intake, or just get it out of the picture altogether. And then with caffeine, obviously we know caffeine's a stimulant. It's going to disrupt our sleep cycles. It can even if you're drinking coffee in the morning, it can still screw up your sleep cycles at night. So definitely reducing or stopping caffeine. One thing you can try is going to half calf from regular coffee, or you can go switch to green tea. Green tea has L-theanine in there, which actually can help you sleep better. So if you just need that hot cup of something in the morning to help you wake up, or it's a habit or a ritual, try doing green tea instead. And last week's video did talk about banishing brain fog and fatigue. So there are some other good tips on that if you're really struggling with fatigue and brain fog, and that is kind of part of your sleep problem. So the bonus tips at the end that we were going to talk about, if you've already tried these above lifestyle changes, then let's dig into what you can do to try to stay asleep. Check your hormones, cortisol. Do a 4-point cortisol salivary urine test, because that is going to really help us determine and work with a functional medicine provider or naturopath or some kind of alternative or medicine provider that does cortisol testing, because they can help you interpret that. But we want our cortisol pattern to be dropping at night and not rising. So check that out and work on that. And I have some other videos that I'll link that talk about regulating your cortisol and how to do that. You can also check your estrogen and progesterone levels. If you're a woman, those can definitely get in the way of your sleep cycles. If you're going through perimenopause or menopause, even if you're not having the hot flashes, still that can disrupt your sleep. So definitely get those levels checked. If you don't want to do it via an alternative lab test like the Dutch test that I've talked about, you can do it via blood work just with your regular provider. But definitely looking into those and optimizing those will help you to get better sleep. And then for men, testosterone levels can impact your sleep, and for women too, but more so for men, so look into that too. One simple thing you can do is I check people's melatonin levels with the Dutch test, but you can just try some melatonin. And some people will run out and get this off the shelf that's like 10 milligrams. Don't do that, or 5 milligrams. Get a liquid dose and just try like a quarter dropper full. That works out to be like a 0.5 milligram. And just try to titrate around to get the right dose for you to try to help you sleep. And like I said, pay attention to that tip number 1 today where I talked about, and number 2, light exposure and how that can improve your melatonin levels. You can also take an Epsom salt bath, a hot bath with lavender oil. I really like the doTERRA Serenity oil. I'll show that as an example. But getting in that routine of having kind of that hot bath with the Epsom salts and with an oil that is relaxing, then can really kind of get you into a nighttime routine and then help your body understand that it's time to go to bed. And then doing yoga stretches to support sleep. So I like Pose of the Child. I'll show an example of that. I like Happy Baby. And then I like Cat and Cow and those things. And then also Downward Facing Dog. Those can all be really helpful poses to help you stay asleep. Some other things that I like to tell people that they can use if they wake up in the middle of the night. One thing is L-theanine. Like I said, that's an ingredient in green tea, but it's not stimulating. It does the opposite. So I will have people, if they do wake up in the middle of the night, try these other things, deep breathing, meditation, and I'll link some of the meditation apps. But if those aren't working, you can combine a little bit of that melatonin, not a full dose, but like a quarter dose, a quarter dropper, with 200 milligrams of L-theanine, and that can usually help you get back to sleep. And again, there can be other things you can do, multiple other things, but that really needs to be more individualized to you. So comment down below if you've had trouble sleeping, or whatever tip you've used or want to try to use to help sleep better. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'm Dr. Shelley Meyer. I post videos every Thursday on reclaiming your health, so hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you liked this video. Look at the description down below. I'm going to have a 2-page PDF that you can get about more tips on staying asleep and getting back to sleep and healthy sleep cycles. And then we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.